Sai, you can get started. Get us started.
Sairam Shekhar Garu. Sairam, everybody. I think you just mentioned, New Jersey is a little closer to India than where you are. So the IST is more effective here than there. So, so we have, 23 people so far. We had sent the message to 172 people. And with WhatsApp, you don't get a response as to how many are responding. But in the Outlook, which we sent to the people who registered, which were about 55 people, 12 responded, but we are assuming that everybody else is also going to join at some point. Some of them who mentioned they will join, I still haven't seen them yet. Again, like I said, it's Sunday morning, IST, so we will continue. So thank you all for joining here. So this is the first time we are meeting as far as the Charm 2024 at Sarvadharma is concerned, to have an interactive session with all the people who are joining us. So far, we've been on WhatsApp, with nameless, faceless communication. So this was a suggestion that to start with. As you all know, we will be doing the Chandi Sahita Atirutra Mahayagna in New Jersey in July of 2024, as Brother Shekhar had already announced at the Memphis event. And thanks to Swami's grace and some of the members of Sarvadharma, we did get the green light from the township, which is the first and biggest hurdle for us. So now that we have it, we have no excuse not to continue forward. So with that, we had set up this group in WhatsApp, which was a all members group. And once that setup is finished, we will be forming multiple teams. We originally started with the worker committee, and Brother Shekhar had kindly reminded us that Swami mentioned committee means come for tea, and he didn't feel that was a good word to use, so we were using the word teams. So we will have multiple teams. We had in our original email given about 18 teams, but that's just a starting point. And, we are relying on Brother Shekhar and Brother Raja and Brother Mohan and many other people who have been doing this in many other places, and with all their knowledge and experience, which we will be learning, and try to make, this event successful using those knowledge base. So that's why we are relying very heavily on all of you, even with a lot of these commitments. So with that, I would start this. And do you want me to talk about the teams, Shekhar Garu, or you want to talk about it? It's up to you at this point.
Yeah, Sairam, sir, I have a brief presentation just to share the perspective and the context of the yagna and everything. And so, if you don't mind, because a lot of people, I think some of the people here probably are not exposed to what this yagna is for, what is its purpose, what is the inspiration, etc. I think that was the main reason why this meeting was requested by Dr. Rao, so that we all come to the same wavelength in the context of why we are doing this, what's the purpose of this, etc. So if you could allow me, then I can share a few slides with people, and then we will come to different aspects of the yajna and how we work as teams and what are the teams that we are envisaging for the yajna. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely, sir. Please, Sairam.
Okay. So,
Before
Sairam,
you, sorry, one second. Before you do that, I would request everybody to mute yourself, please, so that there's no disturbance for everybody. Sairam, sorry, sir.
no problem, sir. So, Sairamal, I think now we have a few more that have kindly joined, and we really appreciate you all taking the time to join this, what I call as the Charm 24 first satsang. So let's not call it a meeting again because if everything is invoking Swami's presence, and when Swami's presence is invoked, it becomes a satsang. And in the context of that, as I mentioned, today we'll go through a few aspects of what's the intent of Charm 24 and why are we doing it in New Jersey and what's the context of doing it in Sarvadharma Center. What are some of the key aspects that you all need to know in the context of a roadmap to this yajna? And what are all the different teams we have in place? And how can you all get involved in the context of this yajna and open it up for discussion? So, with that, let's start with what we call as the team prayer. And let me share my screen and see if you all see the screen. Okay, so are you all seeing my screen?
Yes,
Yes?
sir, we are.
Okay. So, as Brother Rao has very beautifully mentioned, a team is something together everyone achieves more. And what that achieving more is what this beautiful prayer is. And I'll start with that and we'll go into the other aspects. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let us all be together. Let us all be nourished together. Let us all work together with great vigor. May our studies illumine our intellects. May we not contradict or hate each other. Let there be peace, peace, and peace. So, this is the beautiful prayer. Before we form working teams, we need to understand what is this team prayer is about. It's a peace prayer and for togetherness of a team. Because if we are in pieces, there is no team and we cannot together pray for universal peace. And what is this yajna about? This yajna is commemorating Bhagavan's charming centennial. And that is a pun there, and I will go through what is charming centennial. This celebration of Bhagwan's centennial, what we call a Shata Jayanti Mahotsavam, that's going to be in November 2025, actually is started in 2020 when Bhagwan inspired us to do a Rudra Jnana Yajna for 52 weeks from 2020 to 2021 and during the most hardest period of the globe in during the COVID. And if prior to that we have done six yajna already, Atirudra Mahayajna, but this was actually bringing together the Shiva Shakti aspect of it. So the five yajna in 2022, Cham happened in Sacramento. In 2023, this year, during Guru Purnima time, it happened in Memphis. And coming April in 2024, it's going to happen in South Africa, and after that is the charm in New Jersey at Sarvadharma Service Center. In February 2025, it will be in Ujjain, and in November 2025, with Bhagwan's grace and blessing, we will have the grand finale in during his Shata Jayanti Mahotsavam. And what does this charm actually mean? Charm is an acronym for Chandi Sahita Atirudra Mahayajna. So the Atirudra Mahayajna that were conducted by Bhagwan himself has primarily the Shiva component, but here the Atirudra, this Chandi Sahita Atirudra Mahayajnam has both Shiva and Shakti aspects together. The reason for doing this Shiva Shakti Yajnam is because Bhagwan himself is the embodiment of Shiva Shakti, the divine mother and father in one form. So Atirudram, as most of you probably know, invokes the Shiva consciousness, with 14,641 times of Sri Rudram as Japam and Abhishekam, and 1/10 of it offered as the Homa in the sacred fire. Shatachandi invokes the glory of the Divine Mother as described in Devi Mahatmyam, which is glory of the Divine Mother by sage Markandeya, and it has 700 mantras, and all of them recited by Shatachandi, means 100 times of recitation of the Devi Mahatmyam, and 1/10 offered in the Homa. So, what does charm do? Charm eliminates the harm. If you take charm and you take C away, it is harm. And that harm is eliminated by this beautiful Shiva Shakti aspect, which primarily demolishes the demonic instincts and brings forth fundamental transformation, whose benefits are immeasurable and incomprehensible at the Vyashti, the individual level, Samashti, the collective societal or community level, and Srishti, the creation itself, so that we shall have the transformation to Parameshti, the supreme consciousness. That is what the Chandi Sahita Atirudra Mahayajnam is. By the way, if you have any questions, comments, etc., while I am talking, please post them in the chat so that we won't miss any ideas, suggestions, or questions that come up while I am presenting this. And we will also have a brief Q&A at the end of this slides. So, Bhagavan Vacha, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Bhagavan himself stated this Atirudra Mahayajna has to be performed in several places in future. This yajna is everyone's concern. It is not limited to one country, one religion, or one caste. It is performed for the welfare of the whole world. If you continue to perform this yajna, soon the people of the entire world will become united. Pakistan, Afghanistan, Japan, America, and Germany, all countries will be united. This is God's word, and God's word will have to come true. And it is God's command that this yajna has to be conducted at several places. So, beginning from the Bhagwan's himself conducting this journey physically in 2000, I believe in 2006 and 2008, or 2007 and 2008, and after that, several yajna have happened on his name and offering this yajna to Bhagwan's lotus feet. And happened in 2014, 2015, two times, 2017, 2018, 22, etc. So I've shared with you those previously. So the question that is asked is, this is the Bhagavan himself said, this is the highest form of worship and prayer for universal peace and prosperity, and he himself declared that it propitiates mother nature, resulting in better human nature and character. And he himself said this yajna has no limitation or barriers of caste, creed, religion, age, gender, and I want to say even affiliations right now. Denominations are affiliations. Don't worry which group you belong to. You have to come and pray for universal peace. That should be our primary motive and inspiration and goal. And that should be the command from the Bhagavan himself that we have to follow, not getting subjected to all other barriers that are perceived in our own minds. So it is Bhagavan's call that anyone and everyone can be part of these yajna. And now the question that is asked by the intellectual mind is, how do we actually know that yajna builds a character of a human? How do we know? What is it that makes us believe that that is the case? Well, we don't have to look anywhere else. Bhagwan himself has declared how it does. And this is what he said: when you offer the havis into the yajna that are sanctified with these mantras, and these mantras are not words, the mantras are not letters together, mantras are not literary aspect. Mantra fundamentally is the vibration, and that vibration energizes what is offered into the fire. And when it is offered into the fire, so is the fire, such is the smoke, so is the smoke, such is the cloud, so is the cloud, such is the rain, so is the rain, such is the crop, so is the crop, such is the food, so is the food, such are the thoughts, so are the thoughts, such are the actions, so are the actions, such are the habits, so are the habits, such is the character. A complete cycle of human transformation, and how the yagna brings human transformation, builds character in the society, is what Bhagwan has said. And obviously, the next question that will be asked is, how do we know that these yagna actually, or propitiates the mother nature? How do we know? What is the scientific evidence for that? The scientific evidence for that is none other than what I am going to present to you. Look at California, how the yajna brings about change in the mother nature. This is the drought map you can download yourself from US government. The red indicates extreme drought. On April 5th, 2022, this is the drought map of California. On April 5th, 2022. April 11th to 16th, Chandi Sahita Atirudra Mahayajna happened in California. We had unprecedented rainfall in California that did not happen in 170 years. In that 1 year, this is the drought map on April 5th, 2023. Exactly 1 year. Do you see any extreme drought? There is no drought in California. Now, the intellectually curious mind then asks the question, sir, come on, how do you attribute this to this yajna? This is just a coincidence. How do you believe n is equal to 1? N is equal to 1 is an aberration. It's not data. Brothers and sisters, this is not an aberration. We conducted a yajna in 2017 in Tiruvannamalai. And this is the picture taken by one of the devotees after the yajna. The lakes, the ponds, during the yajna, there was such a rainfall that happened during the yajna that did not happen in 47 plus years in Tiruvannamalai. Ramanashramam conducted Varuna Yajna 2 years before that. And when we were doing the yajna, it was a massive rainfall, and agriculture came back to flourish in the Tiruvannamalai area. People were abandoning agriculture, going to some other businesses, and all the agriculture came back to Tiruvannamalai. It's not one experience of California or Tiruvannamalai. When we did the yajna in Atlanta, the brothers that came to the yajna know what kind of a massive rain happened before the yajna. And when we did in 2015, there was a cloud burst and the entire Char Dham was closed for pilgrims during yajna, and it was massive rainfall. Similarly in Tiruvannamalai, similarly in Memphis, just this 2 months ago, and those that attended the yajna know that what a major catastrophe Bhagwan has saved. 270 people that were present on June 25th, 2023. I have videos to show you what kind of a catastrophe occurred, but I don't want to scare you all. There was a massive power wash that happened on the first day of the yajna on June 25th, and it was the sixth largest tornado in the history of Memphis, probably in the country. So don't have any doubt that these yajna appreciate the mother nature and fundamentally brings transformation to both human nature and the mother nature. The second aspect I want to highlight to you, especially after Bhagwan's physical demise in 2011, people have started going helter skelter, and there is no fundamental belief that Swami is ever present right here and now with us. I want to show you how Bhagwan's presence manifests during this yajna, and undoubtedly manifests during the yajna. Look at this picture I'm going to share. on the top. This is in 2022, right after we built and painted the Homakunda. Swami was seen leaving the Homakunda area. If you have any doubt that's not Swami, please examine your eyes, get your eyes examined. That is Swami present. And just this last week on Ganesh Chaturthi, we offered to Bhagwan the invitation of the Atirudra Mahayagna, and Swami materialized a ton of haldi on the invitation to him. This is the letter, this is the brochure, this is the program agenda, and materialized a palm size lingam that had entire colors of Africa, the colors of the animals, the colors of their flags. In fact, this kind of a lingam I have not seen myself, and that is his presence. He will be present. Question is, will you be present? Will you be present to receive the grace of Bhagwan? And those that came to Memphis know that he was present. If he was not present, 270 people's lives would have been vanished. So Swami will be present at this yajna, and that is his promise, and he will be present. And not only that, the entire yajna will be graced with everything that he has completely blessed. This is the Omkareshwara Lingam, and this is the lingam that was installed for Charm 2022, and currently at the Sacramento Sai Center. More than 2 kilos of vibhuti materialized on the lingam before it came to Sacramento, and in the midst of all that vibhuti, Swami materialized 21 crystals which are now adored as a mala on Omkareshwara here. And just recently for the Memphis Yajna, we obtained the murtis of Bhagwan Shiva and Parvati to celebrate Shiva Parvati Kalyanam. And you can see Bhagwan has poured vibhuti on the Shiva and kumkum and haldi on Mother Parvati, the Shiva Shakti, because these are Shiva Shakti Yajna. And the Chandi herself with beautiful materialization of haldi. I'm not sharing all this because you have to be inspired by the miracle of Bhagavad. It is natural. What I am trying to share with the spirit is that all these murtis were sanctified and they will be present in the altar, and you will all have an incredible opportunity to offer abhishekam to all these murtis and sanctify our own lives. And this is the Saishwara Murti that will be present at the yajna, and we call him Bangaru Baba. And he himself on the Navratri of which is October 2021, Bhagwan blessed this murti before it came to Sacramento with not only vibhuti but also haldi and kumkum materialized right in front of our eyes. So, question is, His grace and blessings are abundantly evident during this yajna here and now and in the future. No question about that. Please know that an opportunity missed. These are opportunities that Bhagwan is giving us to be part of his sublime mission. So, with that, the next yajna, very briefly, is going to be conducted under the auspicious of Vedas for all. And this is the Africa's first Atirudra Mahayajna, the only soil on which Bhagavan had set his foot outside of India. And I was wondering why Swami went only to Africa and no place else in his avataric mission. It occurred to me while I was going recently, just 2 months ago in July after the Memphis Yajna. I had the opportunity to go through Masai Mara and see the migration of tens of thousands of animals on the Masai River, tens and thousands of wild beasts, zebras, elephants, herds of lions, etc., etc. And I was wondering, oh Swami, you know, even the name of the place is called Masai, our Sai. So the animals revere him as their Sai too, not just humans. And Bhagwan, for people that went on the one of the brothers was sharing with me who was part of the safari on which he went with Bhagwan. It was amazing experience where it's almost like that picture perfect Lion King thing where when Bhagwan went to the cliff, thousands of elephants and animals were standing below the cliff to get his darshan. So perhaps Bhagwan went to Africa because all these animals prayed, Swami, we can't come to see you physically in Puttaparthi. So Bhagwan said, yes, I know. I will come to give you the darshan. How blessed those animals are. And brothers and sisters, these yajna are not just for human peace and welfare. These yajna are for the entire universal peace. And it is a prayer for universal peace. And Bhagavan has emphasized, please read the discourses he has given during the Atirudra Mahayajna, where he inspired so much about why these yajna and why Rudram has become a major part of his mission, and why after that call in 2006, literally hundreds and thousands of his devotees across the globe had made it a point to become part of this avataric mission of Vedodharana, Veda Rakshana, Veda Poshana. And so please, if you have the bandwidth, you can join the Atirudra Mahayajna that's going to happen in April of 2024. It will be already, I know, a totally blissful experience. And then the next yajna that's going to happen next year is in Sarvadharma Service Center. I request Brother Rao to briefly, share with you all what this Sarvadharma Service Center is about, and I'll come back to the next slide. Yes, sir. Sairam Rao. You have to unmute first.
Sir, I'm all to Sekhar Garu. So, I mean, I think most people here already know mostly about Sarvadharma. There are a few people probably who don't, but so for the sake of them, I'll just go through briefly what I have on these slides. Basically, Swami had personally blessed and guided us this project from day one, starting from 1992. And after quite a bit of sweat and tears, if you will, we got the center inaugurated on the 15th, on the March 29th, 2015. We have regular service activities. Before that, I want to mention that Swami said, don't make this a temple for me, make it a service center and do human service. And so that has been our guiding light all along. And we have regular service activities, which we divide them into educational, medical, and multi-faith programs. Please go to the website to see details of all those on the web. So we operate as a non-profit organization, and we have a team of trustees and advisors and an executive committee which gets involved very frequently in all of the activities. The board is unanimously agreed to conduct Charm 2024 last month, and we went to the township and they gave us a preliminary okay, with people looking into more details as to how to conduct this rather than whether we should conduct it or not. So they're all with us, and we'll be very happy to be getting their support. Since we are 503C, 501c3, the contributions are tax deductible, and we can, we have matching contributions coming from various organizations that are listed there. So please feel free to reach out to them, and if you direct your donation to the to Sarvadharma, they could match it sometimes once, sometimes twice. So I think that's what I wanted to say. If there are any questions, of course, any of us from Sarvadharma will be able to answer them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rao Garu, for quickly walking us through that. And obviously, for any further information, you can contact Brother Mahesh Dantam Shetty or info@saiservice.org as well for any questions related to the contribution aspect of it. So, and then the roadmap for Charm 2024 is this. As you know, Brother Sai Barude has already mentioned, we have this WhatsApp group, and we kicked off last month with the sign up for the volunteer group. And the volunteers that will be signed up will be assigned to different working teams in the near future, and hopefully we'll complete that by end of October, etc. In December, we will open the registration for the yajna, for the Ritviks, for devotees and everyone. And in February 2024, the registration will close. And in March 2024, we will start the daily sadhana of the 121 days before the yajna. And the yajna itself will happen from July 13 to 21st at the Sarvadharma Center in New Jersey. So this is the brief roadmap to the yajna. And obviously, we are still working out different schedule of events, etc. All that will be forthcoming in the next month or so as we finalize the details of the daily program. So as Brother Sai already mentioned, the way we're going to conduct this yajna with different working teams, and these working teams will be in different areas related to safety compliance or finance accounting, yajna operations activity. This is illustrative of different teams, and these teams will be responsible for the deliverables, the tasks, and the milestones. We'll have project leadership, where the project lead would be accountable for the strategy, the plan, the coordination across various working teams, of course, putting together a budget and executing the project milestone across various work streams. The board of Sarvadharma Service Center will be steering, and they will be consulted, they will be informed, because they are primarily accountable for all the aspects related to accounting, regulatory, the permits with different county and city officials, as well as obtaining an event insurance and different aspects of it. They will be the ultimate sign off in the context of various activities and various work teams aspect of it. So question is what are these teams and how are we organized? The working groups and teams will be primarily four major streams of operation. And for example, the yajna operations related to material procurement, ritvik coordination, priest coordination, ritual daily apps, etc., etc. You can read. I don't need to read different aspects of the yajna ops, yajna operations. There is site operations related to putting together a final site plan, the permits, the rentals, the parking, the security, all of those aspects. These are all what we call the sub teams. And hospitality team that would be part of food, dining, hotels, transportation, registration, etc., etc. And then administration, as I already mentioned, which will be primarily related to finance, accounting, communication, a website, marketing, public partner relationships, all of these aspects. This is how the teams would be organized. And how we actually operate as the teams, I'm stolen this from Brother Rao, Dr. Rao. Team means together everybody achieves more. And the team spirit is built on T for trust, E for empowerment, A for attitude, aptitude, awareness, M for motivation. And a leader will operate with listening, learning, loving, laughing, engaging with an attitude of servitude and a drive with empathy and results delivered at the end of the day. So these are tools that Bhagwan has given us over the years. And if we develop these tools working as these teams, they will be useful also in our daily working lives, not necessarily because people ask me the question, what do I get out of working as a volunteer? This is what you get out of it. There is no better leader than Bhagwan himself, who inspires us. And in the context of how we work together, it is with Swami's 5 Ds: dedication, which means love; devotion, which is focus; discipline, which is behavior, discrimination, which is values, and determination, which is sense of urgency and not complacency. Because you are a volunteer, it doesn't mean it can be done at any, we can drag on we are working on a real clear timeline towards the project. And we remembering that Swami is ever present in every conversation and action, and knowing that these roles are really opportunities of service, operating like an organism with love and agility, and not like an organization with authority and rigidity. It's very important. There is no line of command, authority, approvals, all that kind of stuff here. We really need to operate because we're working with Swami's love, for Swami's love, by Swami's love, and that means we have agility. Love is agility, not rigidity. And we focus on our own assigned roles and responsibilities, remembering that when you are driving, you have to pay attention not only to your lane, sometimes other lanes also, otherwise, it will create accidents. And we guide devotees to appropriate leads, and ego comes, he goes. So, question: how do you get involved? How do I get involved? Well, today, after Brother Sai has posted on the WhatsApp, we have 70. Yesterday, two more people registered, so 72 people registered for different teams already. And if you still are not sure about how you can participate, etc., hopefully this today's satsang will help you make a decision. And if you have not registered, please, you can just put your camera to the slide there, and you can go to the direct sign up sheet. And we will also post this link in the chat box after the presentation, while during the discussion. So there is also other aspect. People ask the question, well, I want to be a Ritvik, but I don't know Rudram. I don't know what to do. What is to be a Ritvik, etc. A Ritvik is traditionally an opportunity given only to those who follow daily austerities, generally Brahmins, and those that have formally learned Veda. But with Bhagwan's grace and blessings since 2014, that is now 10 years, we have been conducting this yagna involving everyone without any barriers. But however, to be a Ritvik, we need to be able to chant Rudram fluently, join the 121 days of sadhana with a sattvic lifestyle before the yajna, and be physically present for all the days of the yajna, at least the 10 days of the yajna. So the question that is asked is, well, I am not fluent in Rudram. What do I need to do? Well, it's never too late. If you are destined to be a Ritvik and Bhagwan's grace, you can begin now. How do you begin now? We are going to roll out Rudram learning and mentoring. If you are already a fluent chanter and you know how to do with all the proper appropriate aspects of chanting, you can register as a mentor, or you can register as a beginner, or as a person who can read from a book, or chant with some pronunciation and intonation. So this is, again, you can scan that QR code on your phone to register to learn or to mentor Rudram. And we will also post this link in the chat box, so that it's not too late. You still have 1, 2, 3 months, or 4 months actually: October, November, December, and even after you register as Ritvik, you still have time, plenty of time to learn and join as a Ritvik at the Yajna as well. So with that, I think we have 15 minutes left exactly for any questions or comments or inputs. I see two in the chat box, which I will look at. Otherwise, you can unmute yourself and ask the question as well. So let's see here. There are three questions. Oh, the first one is not a question. Thank you, brother. Oh, Sai Ram. Okay. Will there will there be people who can help qualify those who register as mentors? Yes, brother. We have requested them. If you are a expert chanter or mentor, you are supposed to upload chanting of Anuvakam number 4, and then those will be. So this is, I'm posting the link on the chat for registering as the learner of Rudram. And then there is the link for registering as volunteer. They're not mutually exclusive, by the way. Okay.
Sarah,
Yes.
so before we, I mean, we are waiting for some more questions. In the meantime, one of the things we observed in the last few days while registering is that we have about 172 people who registered so far on the WhatsApp group, actually, not on the registration in the volunteering.
Yeah.
But what we realize is that many people who we take for granted would know this, don't know it. And even recently I spoke with somebody who I would have expected to know about our program from our local area, did not know it. So I think one of the main thing which all of us in this forum and also in the group is, please reach out to all the people who because we are not doing this as part of any affiliation to any centers or any organization. We're not using those mechanisms to reach out to people. So everybody is open, like Shekhar Garu said, there is no affiliation here. A lot of the people who are joining are not even Swami devotees. They are doing it because they are very inspired by the Vedic effects of it. And actually, I myself will tell you that personally, when I chant the Rudram, my Apple Watch registers it as a physical exercise. It asks me whether I'm doing cardiac exercise, and I don't respond. It treats it like I'm doing an elliptical exercise. So there's a physical aspect of it, which I did not realize it's so powerful, the Rudram is. So for
Yes, sir.
people who are
The mantra swara is like an echocardiogram.
correct.
They go up, down, flat, right? So that's what it is recognizing. So
Yeah. So for those of us, for those of you who, because I got a comment from one of the person saying that I'm 70 years plus, and I don't know whether I can do any volunteering work. The answer to them is that, just chanting the Rudram itself is doing an exercise, so they don't have to worry about that. But what I was suggesting is anybody in this forum or anywhere, please reach out to all your friends beyond this center, with center friends or your outside friends, even your temples you go to, when you meet people in the temple, please let them know that we have this Atirutra Mahayagna Chandi Sahita, and please enroll them in this group. We are always open for more people to join in. As it is, we're expecting a lot of people in Jersey because of our location where we are, but we are always welcome to have more people, so you can reach out to them. Sam.
any other questions or comments? Well, I think most of the people, even if they don't ask, some of them have this question. Well, sir, you said Sarvadharma Service Center and these yagna are incredibly expensive. Aren't we better off spending all this money for service projects rather than doing it or for these rituals? That is a very important question that is always in the back of the minds of the people. This question is asked, why are you pouring milk and wasting ghee and all of this stuff as well? I want to share with you a personal and also a collective team experience. When we did the yagna before the yagna we did in Badrinath, two incidents happened. One was Kedarnath floods. I put the link here, and if you go and watch that link, you will see that houses were just washed away in Kedarnath. It's like you will be shaken to your core. You would have been shaken to core if you were in Memphis on June 25th also. Okay. And Kathmandu earthquake happened in April 2015. After that Kathmandu earthquake, I don't know if you have seen, it's 8.2 on Richter scale, and People, there were tremors weeks after that happened. And when that happened, I was praying to Bhagwan. Bhagwan came in my dream and he asked me, why are you doing this yajna in Badrinath? And I answered the question by saying, Swami, it's for your 90th birthday. We are commemorating your 90th birthday. And this yajna is in commemoration of 90th birthday and 50 years after he visited Badrinath physically. And Swami said, I don't require all of this stuff. Why do you need to do yajna for me? I said, well, I was silent. And then Swami said, look what happened in Kathmandu. Look what happened in Kedarnath. For years to come, people will be afraid to go into their homes. What service are you doing to address the fear in the minds of these people? What service you do to serve the mind of the person who is affected by COVID or whose family passed away from COVID? What service would we do to actually address the devastation that just happened this month in two places, in Libya and in Morocco? In Libya, 25% of the city of Dernia disappeared because two dams broke, heavy rains, and there was millions of cubic feet of water released, and 31 billion cubic feet, that means 30 million cubic meters of water was released. So, brothers and sisters, this was the question that Swami asked. When you go do service, you serve the body, you give them food, you give them shelter, you give them clothes. So, every part of the service that we do is related to the body. What service do we do for the mind of the people affected with fear from a natural calamity or a disaster like COVID? So Swami said, Adhyavocha dathivakta prathamo daivyo bhishak ahigischa sarvan jambhayan sarvascha yatu dhanyaha. This is the sixth mantra in the first Anuvakam of Rudram. And what that mantra is, I will translate. And Bhagavan translated it for me on that beautiful vision or the dream I had. He said, Adhyavocha means supreme statement. Adhivakta means supreme statesman. Prathamo Devyo means the first amongst the gods. Bhishak, the most supreme doctor. And his statement and assurance is, whatever fear you get from those that you know harm you, and from those that you do not even know that harm you, I will protect you from all those. That mantra addresses the fear in the hearts of the people. And Swami said, the one line meaning of that mantra is, why fear when I am here? So this prayer of Atirudra Mahayajna is not a ritual. It is actually a service project. A service project of magnanimity that no service project can even appear to address it. Do you understand? So, because this is the question, Sarvadharma Service Center, whose mission and charter is human service, who else need to do this kind of prayer service for the world than Sarvadharma Service Center? So therefore, it completely falls into the mission and purpose not only of Sarvadharma Service Center, of any organization in this world. This is a prayer of service, and this is the supreme service that we are doing for human mind, for the healing of the human mind, and to address the fear in the human mind. I just want to share that, so that if somebody asks you that question again, for any one of us. And I also want to acknowledge a few people on the call today. Srinivas Talluri, who has been part of this armies from day one. Srinivas Sairama, Jai Sairam. Raja Sharma, who has been integral part of these yagnas, part of the army, but actually they're all enrolled into the army as not only soldiers, but sometimes playing as whatever role they can do. I have to say, they work so humbly and with so much humility. It's such an inspiration for me to be associated with all these people. And definitely, Pavan and Anita are on the line here. And please show your face, Sairama, Pavan and Anita, if you can. Brother Ratish is here. Oh, Sairam. Okay, don't drive and show your face. Okay, we see you, Sairam. Pavan and Anita on the team from day one. Brother Ratish from Sacramento. He's okay. He's wearing the red shirt today, and Mohan Kota, who is there. All these people, I am so proud to say, are part of this team, which is together everyone achieves more and so selflessly. And we don't even, there is ultimate trust in Swami. Swami is the supreme commander in chief for this army, and we all work together. And I feel very honored to be part of such an incredible team for since past decade. 2014 is when we started on this journey, and thank you, Swami, for that. And I also feel the same team exists with the Sarvadharma Service Center, and I have been so motivated, like Brother Rao. I mean, I call him, everybody calls him Dr. Rao. I just call him Brother Rao. That is more important address. And I know Sai, and I've been to Sarvadharma Center, and personally for me, it's such an incredible place of energy and love of Swami. And when I first went to the center, I asked Rao Garu, sir, we are going to replicate this same altar in Sacramento, which is sacred place. That's what it stands for. Sacramento is sacred place. And and our altar at the Sacramento Sai Center is pretty much identical to what you see in Sarvadharma Center. So that is East Prashanti and we are West Prashanti. And we are so happy that this yajna is happening in New Jersey. So people ask the question, why New Jersey? Why Sarvadharma Center? And I already addressed to you, why South Africa? It is not just for humans, for all the animals. It's the second most populous continent, with second most populous with all the animals that are present on this continent are in Africa. So we are doing this yajna there for that. And why New Jersey is, we started with the West in Sacramento, we came to the Midwest in Memphis, and then we are going to the east of United States, so to span the entire United States, not united just in the name, but also in spirituality. Jai Sai Ram. Okay. More questions look like that came
Yeah.
in.
So actually, let me add a couple of things, Shekhar Garu. We just had a question from somebody, which I didn't bring it up here, was that since this is going to be a charm is going to extend beyond Swami and Swami's organizations and everything, people don't know about this, and many people, including one of the priests, like I told you, he was going to join. This is a priest from the local temple, Guru Ayyarampan temple, and we invited him to our house for some event, and we didn't realize that he was one of the priests selected by Swami for the first Atirutra Mahayagna in Prashanti, and he's here in Guru Ayyarampan temple, and nobody knew about him. So he was telling us that, there are many people who like to participate in this, but they don't know this. So he said, is there any way you can post this in the temple boards?
Yes, sir.
That is,
yeah, that's
yes,
the answer to that question is we'll have a marketing and communication team soon, and also a public partner relationship team as well. That would be their charter. And we have a number of posts, like we created the brochure for the Atirudra Mahayagna in South Africa, and the brochure along with the overview of the entire event was shared, and the brochure will contain most of the information, and with a letter to them formally to the temples as well as to the other organization. We have sent the invites of the Africa Yajna to everyone, including Global Council, International Organization, Hindu Mahasabha in Africa, and Indian Consulate in Africa, Durban. Every single those are spiritually inclined as to Bhagwan's dictate, independent of caste, creed, religion, denomination, affiliation, gender, all will be invited, sir. There will not be any discrimination whatsoever. And
Wonderful.
we have the first task is for us to create a brochure like we did for the South Africa yagna. And just for those of you who want to see a sample of that, I can share that with you. It's a beautiful job done by young adults, actually. The young adults of South Africa team, in fact, the young adult coordinator, the national devotional coordinator of South Africa country are part of this yagna, and they created this brochure, which is phenomenal. And I'll just share that with you as a sample because brother asked, how do we communicate this information? And Sairam, my thing is going very fast.
While you're doing that, just want to say, do you have a time limit, on that? When do you want to get this brochure out?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. And that is again, as I said, we'll have a team that is that will be part of developing those timelines, etc. But we already have a sample, so that if you have a marketing team or if you have a PR team, I believe that is Brother Mahesh Velanki is part of that, right? We can get going on it. We have a sample of it. We don't need to wait, and we don't need permission from anyone
Good.
to get going. So here is the brochure that we created for the yajna. So let's create, and then what is this yajna about? And it is a multi-faith aspect. And then why are we doing this? What is the purpose? And why are we doing it in Africa? And how what is it about? And some beautiful pictures of Swami with various animals, a roadmap of the yajna, and the schedule of events related to the yajna. And then we will have the venue details and an FAQ associated with it. And this is what we will share with everyone. And the sooner we create it, the better, because we can start even creating one page poster, which is already created for Army 24. And that one page poster can be put in, like brother was mentioning, the local Indian stores or temples,
Yep.
etc., etc. Okay.
Also, I just want to say that we have about 172 people or so that signed up, so to speak. And then only about 70 or so of them have volunteered into committees or the teams now. So I think we need to encourage that. We need more people to get into these teams so that we have a robust team everywhere.
Yes, and we will form those teams as I mentioned. Once we have who has signed up, we can look at that, and then we obviously, there are people with core expertise over last 10 years, like Raja can help with the site operations, and whoever Mohan can help with the food aspect of it, working with brother Rajan Goyal, etc. So we can create these teams, and this is just the seed of everybody knowing what's happening and how they can get involved. Any other questions, comments, or
Saraman,
what's
this is Prasad.
yeah,
Saram.
Sairam.
I have a question. Um, some, at least one of the priests that knows of this activity going on for some time had expressed interest of joining this. So, is there like, can I guide him to you?
Yes, the priest coordination will be done by Brother Prabhakara Yellai. He's not on the call, but please send it to me, and we can. We are going to also have four to five priests come from India, and the reason for that is they know how to conduct the process just like what they did in Puttaparthi, etc. So they will be part of it to officiate the whole program, but definitely we will vet these priests with those people, and then they can work together unitedly. Absolutely, local priests will be nice to have, and let's
Yeah.
have a at least understand what their there are some nuances that we need to also address. Just to be clear, also to Brother Sai's question, some of the priests are not open to having ladies doing the homam. I'm not saying that they're wrong or right. That is the way they have been trained, so they won't be open to that. But that is something we can't compromise on. We can't have any barriers of caste, creed, religion, even religion to participate. So we have to be upfront with them. Are you comfortable with that? And some priests may not be comfortable with that. I am not judgmental about them, but that's their dharma. So that's a fundamental factor. Are they spiritually inclined with every aspect of the yajna? Okay, that is important.
I had a question. Is there, the financing aspect of it? So is there some sort of budget for this, or can you enlighten us on this financial process?
Sairam sir, fundamentally, money matters are not public discussions in Satya Sai principle. Okay, so we don't want to, of course, money is very important, it is crucial, and we will have to deal with that discreetly, and we will have a process for that. As I said, we don't publicly solicit with anyone to contribute, and it is 100% discreet, voluntary. We don't announce the names of the donors or put their names on plaques, etc. I know you follow these principles in Sarvadharma Center, so I'm very much spiritually aligned with that. For any of the yajna so far we have conducted, we never talk about money openly, and it will be dealt discreetly. People don't even need to know what is the cost of these yajna. It's because they vary big time, and we don't want to by any means impose or intimidate anyone. Oh my God, this is that's not spiritually right. So there should not be any conversation about that. Sai and Rao Garu, I hope we are all aligned as a team.
Absolutely. That's how we.
Absolutely. Also, we will have a budget committee which will discuss this in detail, and then come up with a procedure, so to speak.
And welcome to Sister Vaidehi. She is here, and I don't know if Prabhakar must be in service, but
Both of us
Sister.
are here. I just came home.
Okay, Sairam.
Sairam, everybody.
So Prabhakar, I just mentioned your name, so that you will be coordinating the priests. There will be some names coming to you, and we need to vet those. And Sister Vaidehi is a PhD in Atirudra Mahayagna. Just to be clear, not Doctor of Philosophy, but a pure-hearted devotee, PhD. Pure-hearted devotee for Swami, and she knows how much milk needs to be given at what time in the yajna, to that order of detail. So she will be guiding the team on material procurement, and we will work together with her on material procurement. And my better half, actually my best half, is not on the call, but she'll be leading the floral and the altar aspects of it. So we have different people with lot of experience. They won't physically lead, but they will be available to virtually and help guide, so that we are developing the skill set to sustain this yajna for the future. And so for South Africa, there are a lot of people working on the ground, but we are spending time on Zoom calls with them and helping them guide the process, etc. So that's what will happen with the yajna in New Jersey. Yes. Any other questions or comments?
A couple of
Thank you. Thanks to Brother Gael for bringing that, because that's always the big elephant in the room, the money, and we now put that in a box. Okay. Yes. Any other questions? Yes, Rasai, go ahead. Sai, go ahead. Any question? Okay, somebody asked to add the number. Please click on the link above, and you should be able to sign up for the and then whoever is not on the WhatsApp group, we will add them later. Okay, Sairam. Okay, we are 7 minutes over our allotted time. Are there any significant questions or comments? Any sharing for Brother Raja or anyone from the army team or charm team? If you want to say something, please, you're open to share. Otherwise, calling one, calling two.
I would love if Raja Garu and Srinivas and yeah, at least those two individuals can speak up a little bit and tell us more.
Saram sir, we are, like I said, we are always available anytime, 24/7. So, the stage has been set, and Swami is there, and so we'll be happy to answer any questions and clarify any situations, and certainly on the ground that we'll be there to ensure that this program is the best offering to Swami. So,
Saram, this is Kota Mohana already in the action. Rao Garu, Mahesh Garu, and everybody knows about Goyal Garu also knows about that. So anytime, 24/7, you can call me anytime. Any documents, any other, the application formats or anything like that, we are ready to help you on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
There are many things that, if I may,
Please,
that we can, these calls are important, so there is everybody understands, where we operate from. So we have a common platform and common understanding. But specific things certainly that we can work offline and formal communication. But certainly we don't need to wait for these calls to happen. When it happens, questions come and we resolve it, so it'll be more efficient. So that's why we keep saying we are available. And you know us, so you know us well enough. So feel free to call, or any of your team members can call us. So not an issue.
Sairamande, I just have one question that I'm hearing from people. Are you able to hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes.
Question is, we have Ritviks who do the yagna on that day under the tent, and we have volunteers who are helping all the other stuff. There are a whole lot of people who seem to be interested in just being spectators and just listening and sitting around. Are we in this process, should we plan for some additional seating or a location-wise to accommodate such people?
Yes, sir. That will be all part of the site layout and plan.
Okay.
We will address that as we move on with the site layout. And definitely, for every yagna, what we do is we have the core area that is stanchioned, but is only for those people that are Ritviks, and then volunteers, of course, are constantly running around or doing work related to that. And there will be devotees, or what you call them spectators. I just call them devotees. So the devotees, I always joke on the category. A volunteer is somebody who is committed to service. A Ritvik is somebody who is committed to the service also for the yajna. A devotee is someone who is not sure what they want to do, but we encourage and have everyone participate, and we will allow them to participate. And everyone that is coming to the yajna, including volunteers and devotees, would have an opportunity to do abhishekam to Bhagwan, and there won't be any discrimination as well with respect to that. They don't have to be, but a Ritvik is the only one that offers havis into the Homakunda. That is how it is defined. We are going to develop in the next few weeks a detailed FAQ related to all these things, what is all of those things, and that will be shared with the team as well. And then we will open the registration, as I mentioned, in December, once we have these processes formalized. Okay. Yep. With that, Srinivas, want to say
Saramana, just one question. Is it feasible, do you think, that one person can be a Ritvik as well as a volunteer? Is that going to be too much?
It's going to be too much, because you can't be in two, as I said, be in your lane, but pay attention to what other lanes are. Don't try to jump from one place to another place, because neither you are praying nor you are serving, right?
Service.
So
Yeah.
commit to one service, and that is this year also we will have 100%, only 170 Ritvik. We'll try to see how we can actually get one person. If multiple people are signing up, there's a lot of thought process going on. It's premature to share all of that without vetting with the broader team. But the answer is no. If you're a Ritvik, be a Ritvik, 100% focus on that. As a Ritvik, you can help before the yajna and after the yajna as a volunteer. But during the yajna, stick to your lane and focus on that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Srinivas, Sairama.
Yeah, as others also have, other brothers have shared, we are humbled to be the chosen monkeys for doing Swami service, right? So any questions and all, whatever knowledge we gained so far with the last 6+ yagnas which we did, we are happy to share, and yeah, you can count on us any day, right? So okay.
So he definitely, Srinivas is a monkey, but I am a bear.
I didn't want to say that.
just to be clear, there are monkeys and birds on the team, but I am a bear. Okay, so be careful with me.
And Sairam, so we are all squirrels. We are a lot of squirrels too. So
okay.
Everybody counts, right? Everybody counts.
Definitely, I am not a squirrel. I am very noticeable. Let's see. Anybody else? Vaidya, you want to say anything? Otherwise, we are way past our time, 15 minutes. So
I just have a couple of observations, Shekhar Garu. This is Sai right here again.
Yes, sir.
So one is you mentioned about Sarvadharma. I just want to let people who don't know Sarvadharma to know that many people who come here have said they are like in Prashanti because Swami's presence is very strongly felt here. The Swami's chair came from Prashanti. You know, it was brought by Prashant Anil Kumar Garu when he came here. Swami's robe, Swami's padukas, everything's from Prashanti. So that is, I think, a very strong presence. And Swami has made us in several experiences know that he's here, and he told us that in many ways. The second thing, the most important thing is that going forward, I think from what I lean from here, the first thing we need to do is prepare a brochure so we can reach out as an outreach, a single page brochure as an outreach to all the communities as soon as we can. Seems like that is agreeable to all of us. And everything else we will follow based on a timeline, which we'll have to prepare with all the volunteers and so on. That's why I'm reading it. If I'm not, please correct me.
100%, sir. Thank you very much for that.
I just wanted to add that we should maybe send out a tickler as for reserving the date for next year, so that people from far distance they can have crowd arrangements.
Yes, sir. There is a there will be a marketing communication public partner relationship team that needs to be in place to address all of that, and then we have a lot of material as well we can share, and how to create those, etc. So we will do that. These are next steps. We're talking about next steps. Are there any questions or comments just about the yajna itself? Let's focus on that, and then we will conclude. So, brothers and sisters, I want to close this with one important aspect. A lot of people ask me, what is the purpose of all of this? Why are we doing all of this? And we need to look at the big picture. And that big picture is this. Bhagwan has declared very clearly, the divine charioteer Sanatana Sarathi, that his avataric mission is threefold: Vedodharana, Veda Rakshana, Veda Poshana. These three words are broadly misunderstood by a lot of people who perceive and interpret this in their own awareness that it is about propagating rituals, propagating scripture of Hindus. This is completely misunderstood. Veda means awareness. Vedodharana means raising the awareness or knowledge of that which is called SAI. That is, SAI is the inherent divinity within, same as I. Veda Rakshana means protecting that awareness by being aware and being alert. That is called Baba. Veda Poshana means nourishing that awareness. The reason it is a capital is that means Tat in Sanskritam. So same as I means Tattvamasi. The awareness that we are talking about is that awareness is Tattvamasi. And that awareness through service, adoration, illumination, so that we experience the being, awareness, bliss, absolute, that is Sai Baba. Vedodharana is same as I. Veda Rakshana is being aware and being alert. Veda Poshana means nourishing that through service, adoration, illumination. Therefore, we will achieve being, awareness, bliss, absolute. And that is the purpose of what we call as Veda Dhyayana or Veda study. And Veda study is the group that we started back in 2002 to actually teach the Vedas. It's 16 years in this mission of Bhagwan. Even way before Veda classes started in any part of the world outside of India, under Sai's name, it was started in California in 2002. People have been learning Rudram since 2002 in California. And that awareness with Sai, the journey to that awareness with Sai, seeing always inside, is called Adhyayana. We need to keep all of this in perspective. So when people ask what is Veda Rakshana, Vedodharana, Veda Poshana, it is not about propagating Vedas. And those of who have been involved in this Veda study sessions, they all know that it is all focus on the values in the Vedas, the educare in the Vedas, the devotion in the Veda, and the awareness of the Veda. That is what is this mission about. With that, let us close this session knowing that Bhagwan is the cause, he is the action, he is the doer, he is the doing, the done, and the undone. We are blessed that he had allowed us to know him, and we pray that he shape us to be perfect instruments in his mission. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba Ji ki.
Jai
Jai Sai Ram, everyone.
Jai Sai Ram.